In this video, we'll look at measures of dispersion, and what this measures is how spread out or stretched data is. We'll look at some other measures of spread later, but we're going to be looking at the range, the IQR, something called the 5-number summary, outliers, and a visual description of data called a box and whisker plot. So range, hopefully we all know that range is found by taking the maximum value and subtracting the minimum value. This is a number. The mistake I always see people make with range is they give it as a lower value and then a dash and then a higher number. It's one value. It's this amount of data values that our data will span. The 5-number summary consists of, you guessed it, 5 numbers, and those 5 numbers are the minimum, quartile 1, the median, quartile 3, and the maximum. So what are quartiles? Well, a quartile is the same as the 25th percentile. It's the data value which 1/4 of the data falls less than. The median is the 50th percentile. It's where 50% of the data is less than that. So the quartile 1 is the median of the bottom half of the data. We'll look at how to find that in our example. And quartile 3 is the median of the top half of our data. It's also thought of as the 75th percentile. Okay, so what's IQR? IQR is defined as being the 3rd quartile minus the 1st quartile. What it's doing is it's measuring how spread out the middle 50% of our data is. What are outliers? Well, outliers are things that are very, very far away from everything else. And the way we define outliers is more than 1.5 times IQR beyond Q1 and Q3. So in other words, Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. If any data value is smaller than that, we consider that to be an outlier. And likewise, if we have Q3 and we add 1.5 times this IQR, anything bigger than that value will be considered an outlier. And a box and whisker plot is what happens when we put all of these things, this 5-number summary and this outlier idea into a picture, and roughly speaking, looks something like that. And if we have outliers, it would show up as dots. But this would be the minimum. This would be Q1. This would be the median, Q3, and then one of these two would be the maximum, depending on if we had outliers or not. So, enough talk, let's do a problem here. Find the range, the IQR, 5-number summary, discuss outliers for this data, and we're going to make a box and whisker plot too, just for fun. So the range, we find the range by taking the maximum minus the minimum. Our range is 14. 5-number summary, okay, so we're going to start crossing values off to find the median. We know the minimum is 1. We need Q1, median, Q3, and max. We know the maximum is 15. 2 of 5 numbers are done, so we start crossing things off. Remember, these need to be in order to find the median value. So our median would be, add these together, divide by 2. Our median is 5.5. Right there. Let's grab a new color. And we need to find the median of the bottom half of our data. That's going to be Q1, so I cross off the smallest and the biggest in that half. Cross, cross. There is Q1. Cross, 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 cross. Q3 is 7. So the IQR is 7 minus 2, better known as our friend number 5. So we have our range, we have our IQR, we have our 5-number summary. Now we need to discuss the outliers for the data. The way we do that, remember, we're going to take Q1, 2, minus 1.5 times the IQR. So if I take 1 minus 7.5, I get negative, or 2 minus 7.5. Is anything smaller than negative 5.5? You better be saying no, the smallest is 1. So we don't have any outliers on the small side over here. Let's go the other direction. 7 plus 1.5 times the IQR. That's Q3 plus 1.5 IQRs. So that's 7 plus 7.5, 14.5. Do we have any data values bigger than that? And yes, we do. 15 is an outlier. Our box and whisker plot would look like this. We do a number line. Establish a reasonable scale. And our minimum is 1. Our Q1 is 2. Our median is 5.5. Maximum, or our Q3 is 7. Maximum is 15, but we decided that was an outlier, so we're going to put a dot there for that. And we're going to go to the next biggest data value and put a mark there. Our box goes around, it gets connected to quartile 1 and 3 and includes the median. That's our middle 50%, and from the ends of the boxes we go out to our upper and lower numbers, and those are the whiskers. So we have our box and whisker plot showing our outlier. Okay, cool. So great. We can do it by hand for small sets of data, but what about big sets of data? We don't want to do it by hand. Let's use our calculator. So we go put in a list and spreadsheet page. We type in our data, give it a name. Now we're going to add a page. So I'm using the same data from that last example. Add a page. I'm going to add data and statistics. See all the dots? Those are all my data values. Down at the bottom, we're going to click to add the variable, select data. Now it creates a dot plot for all those data points. You can hover the hand over and see what those values are, but I don't want a I don't want a dot plot. I want a box and whiskers. Really, really easy. We're going to press menu, plot type. Look, histogram, we could do that too, but I want a box plot. And boom, there we go. And notice that is almost the same thing as I had over here. We can double check. 1, 2, 5.57, there's 10, there's our outlier of 50. We could also do this from our list and spreadsheet. We could do menu statistics, stat calculations, one variable stats. One list, our X list is our data. We don't have a frequency list. Our results can go in column B because there's nothing there. I hit OK. Remember, that's the mean. And if I scroll down, look at this, maximum, Q3, median, Q1, minimum. The only thing this doesn't do is it doesn't tell me anything about outliers. So that's something that's on you to figure out. And you can use as big of a list of data as you want here, and it's that quick to find your 5-number summary and or make a box and whisker plot on the calculator. So we're done. That's it. I hope this all makes sense. I wish you luck.